Welcome my broskis to yet another brutal video. Today my friends, we have something that I absolutely did not expect to be making a video on today. Machine Games together with id Software has released a brand new official expansion for Quake 1 called Dawn of the Machine. And yes, Machine Games are the same people who gave us the Quake 2 expansion Call of the Machine. Call of the Machine, Dawn of the Machine, yeah, I'm definitely starting to think that they are setting something up here. The similarities are way too strong for me not to start speculating a little bit about the future of Quake. But that is a video for another day. Today we are talking about Dawn of the Machine. And before we start, this is not going to be some massive full-blown review. I'm also just want to highlight this thing because holy crap, it is phenomenal. Dawn of the Machine takes the original Quake formula and pushes it further than I think I've ever seen before. New enemies, new textures, new music, new weapons, completely insane environments, and some technical wizardry happening in the levels that I cannot even properly explain. Rooms, they transform. Reality shifts. Environments, they seem to change around you, and it fits perfectly with the little story that we have, where you see Ranger is trapped inside this dimension of endless illusions, reliving the same violent cycles over and over again, apparently dying thousands of times while trying to escape. Eventually, he hears about something called the Nightmare Machine, and the belief is that if he can only destroy it, he can finally break the illusion and escape this loop. The whole setup allows Machine Games to basically take Quake and go completely nuts with it, and they did, and nowhere is that more obvious than in the environments themselves. My broskis, these levels are jaw-dropping. There are screenshot moments absolutely everywhere. One minute you're inside some twisted sci-fi facility. The next you're wandering through dark medieval castles, then blood-covered dungeons, lava-filled hellscapes, strange Lovecraftian ruins. It just constantly changes, and somehow all of it still feels like Quake. This is probably the most impressive thing about it. Quake has always had that strange mixture of sci-fi, dark fantasy, Lovecraftian horror, and complete nonsense. Dawn of the Machine takes all of those ingredients and pushes them to another level. And the actual level design, holy macaroni balls, this might generally be some of the best level design I've ever seen in a boomer shooter, period. The maps, they go upward, downward, underwater, through lava, across platforming sections, into puzzles, through giant arenas and tiny corridors, and everything interconnects. You can absolutely get lost sometimes, I definitely did that, but most of the time it is not because the game is intentionally confusing. Usually you simply missed one small route to the right while 5 other pathways are looping back into the areas that you've already explored. So you stand there thinking, where the hell am I going? And then you spot one little staircase and feel like an absolute idiot. But despite being labyrinthine, these maps are incredibly well constructed, and there are a lot of them. Dawn of the Machine contains 19 levels including secret maps, and thankfully, if you miss one of those secret maps, you can still play it later through the level select, so you do not have to replay everything just because you missed some tiny hidden switch somewhere. There is also some proper replayability here. Throughout the campaign you collect runes, and once you finish certain parts of the expansion, those runes can apparently be used when replaying levels to unlock areas that was previously inaccessible. I've not done much of that yet myself, but I absolutely love this idea, especially because this is already a huge expansion. I'm currently around level 10 out of 19, and I'm roughly 5 hours into it. So depending on how much exploring you do, you are probably looking at around 10 hours or more for the entire thing. And if you're hunting every secret, good luck. Some levels, they have 13 of them. 13! And this thing is absolutely packed with hidden stuff. Not just a secret with a little armor piece. There are those as well, but there is so much more to it than that. And the music is also fantastic. It still has that unmistakable Quake 1 feeling, but there is something slightly more surreal and unsettling about it that fits the whole illusion theme super well. Have a quick listen to this. Pretty damn nice, right? And then we have the new enemies, and these are awesome. Some enemies actually transform after taking damage. You shoot them with your shotgun and suddenly they mutate into some horrible monstrosity that you now have to deal with. There are also dogs with grenades strapped to their backs. Kill one of those things and suddenly 3 or 4 grenades go flying everywhere. Completely ridiculous, completely Quake, and I love them. The new weapon, however, it is basically this minigun style weapon that fires red projectiles and uses battery ammunition. It is extremely powerful, but for whatever reason it doesn't click with me. It works, it kills things, I just find myself going back to the classic Quake arsenal instead. And that is fine, because those weapons still feel fantastic almost 30 years later. Now the expansion also brings new achievements, the cheat menu is still available, and yes, this thing can become pretty damn challenging. If you're planning on playing on hard or nightmare, I actually have another video showing how to unlock those difficulties from the hub world. It is slightly confusing at first, but once you understand how it works, it is super simple. Honestly though, the difficulty is part of what makes Dawn on the Machine so satisfying. These levels, they're filled with enemies, traps, massive combat encounters, and situations where you really need to start moving like you're playing Quake. And when everything clicks, it's glorious. And as I said, I'm not even finished with this expansion yet, and I already know that this is something I am going to remember. Machine Games somehow again took a game from the 90s and made an expansion in 2020 feels fresh, modern, ambitious, and still completely faithful to what Quake actually is. And that is not an easy thing to do. And you know what's even better? If you already own Quake, Dawn of the Machine is completely free for all platforms. So my broskies, go play it, seriously. This is absolutely worth your time. And if you want more brutal old school FPS action just like this, remember to hit that like button and subscribe. Papa Slim, he will see you in the next one. Over and out.